Many people ask me, what is this Indus Waters Treaty all about and how can it be explained in simple terms? So I asked my friend KBS Sidhu, who retired as Special Chief Secretary Punjab and held the position of Principal Secretary Water Resources and Irrigation. And I asked KBS, what is Indus Waters Treaty of 1960 and what are its main features? Try and explain it to the common folk.
Thank you very much, Yasha, for having me on your show. The best way to understand Indus Waters Treaty is to imagine 6 great Himalayan rivers as a single river system shared by 2 newly partitioned nations, India and Pakistan. Indus and its 5 tributaries, Satluj, Beas, Ravi, Chenab, Jhelum. Now, till 15th August 1947, this basin was managed as one under the British rule, with vast canal irrigation network, with diversion barrages that channeled waters to canals, irrigating lakhs of acres. So what happens after partition? Both India and Pakistan realized that they needed to have an amicable settlement, a kind of a lasting treaty to avoid any water-related issues and flashpoints. So in 1951, they both invited the World Bank to act as a mediator. And why World Bank? Because it was tied up with giving loans for Bhakhara project in India and similarly other projects in Pakistan, Varsak, Chashma projects and so on and so forth. And these were expensive, long-drawn negotiations spread over a number of years, beginning in 1951 and ultimately culminating after 9 years of hard negotiations and marathon talks on 19th of September 1960. Pandit Nehru specifically flew to Karachi, President Field Marshal Ayub Khan, and the pact was also endorsed and guaranteed by none other than the World Bank. So what does this treaty effectively do? On a gross basis, India got only 20% of the waters, which is 33 million acre feet. And 80% went to Pakistan, 135 million acre feet. Now that's got to do with geography and topography and so on. But that is what was finally clinched. Broadly, river-wise, what happened? India had near exclusive rights over what are called the eastern rivers, Satluj, Beas and Ravi, which means you could pretty much do whatever you wanted to do with the waters of these rivers. For irrigation, for hydropower pondage, for flood control, and you had the right to build whatever you wanted to do on these rivers. And for the western rivers, that is the Indus, Chenab and Jhelum, Pakistan had full rights, subject to small bit of rights for India. That is only 3.6 million acre feet of these western rivers, benefiting mainly Jammu and Kashmir, for limited electricity generation and whatever pondage was connected with that. And you could not then use these waters for more consumptive use as irrigation. So the water, if you generate electricity, had to go back into the main river. So that was what India got, and the remaining was Pakistan's share. Now the catch was that you had to take permission of Pakistan authorities for each and every work that you had to effect, even on these little bit of works that you had to do on the western rivers. In any case, you had a permanent Indus Commission meeting twice a year, once in India, once in Pakistan, to sort out petty issues and disputes. And this treaty survived the Indo-Pak War of 1965, 71, Kargil operation. But the fact remains that India was not able to utilize its full quota of 3.6 million acre feet on the western rivers of Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. And the loss was not only of India, but more particularly of Jammu Kashmir.
So, KBS, has India used the full quota of the western rivers and the Ravi?
I'm glad that you asked that question, because this is the question which all the people from all across the world, including Punjabi diaspora in USA and Canada, have been asking. In practice, it is a hard fact that even though we had a limited access or entitlement of 3.6 MAF in the rivers of Indus, Chenab, and Jhelum, the western rivers, till now, 65 years after signing this treaty, we have been able to exploit only 0.2 million acre feet, 6%. And installed capacity could have been and should have been as high as 18 gigawatts. We are still around 3.2 gigawatts. So the major sufferer, Jammu Kashmir, where these rivers were supposed to generate this electricity. Now, Ravi River, totally within the purview of India, and a river which traverses Jammu Kashmir and Punjab, we were not able to harness this till year 2000, when the Ranjit Sagar Dam, as it is now called, then Thin Dam on River Ravi, came up. And downstream that, we have the Shahpur Kandi Dam project. Just like underneath Bhakhara Dam, you got Nankal Dam. So Shahpur Kandi Dam project, national project, delays mired by interstate wranglings, started only in 2013. And now it is expected that it may go on stream in June this year. So that would really be limiting the Ravi waters, which are 100% ours, to go to Pakistan.
So, what does suspending the treaty mean? Is it legal? What impact will we have? And what should we do next?
What does suspending of the treaty mean? Suspending of the treaty does not mean there is a tap that you close and water stops flowing. It's a legal word terminology to keep the operation of the treaty in abeyance. So therefore, once India has done it, what then happens is that for the projects which are already on the anvil and within our allocated share of 3.6 MAF in Jammu and Kashmir on the western rivers, you need not now, go to Pakistan and, try and address their frivolous objections. So we can straight away go ahead. If there are projects underway, we execute that in accordance with our project report. But more importantly is that if now we are going to go a step further and say we are asserting our full rights onto the remaining water of Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab, then again we don't need to go to Pakistan, because we were not in any case entitled to those waters under the treaty. But now that we put it in abeyance, obviously we can undertake projects which in the narrow confines of the treaty were not permitted. So therefore, questions are being asked by legal experts. Can you do it? Where is the provision of suspending in Indus Waters Treaty? And they're throwing the rule book at you. International experts, legal experts, riparian experts, they say that if the national interest, the sovereign interest, the national security of a country is being jeopardized by arguably Pakistan-abetted terrorism, then India is under no obligation to not suspend. And conversely, there is no explicit clause which says you will not suspend. So in the general law of the land, India has the right to suspend, and it has done so. So to sum up, gates that you create will reduce the outflows within about 3 years, and large reservoirs, if fast-tracked, not business as usual type of a thing, without any constraints of the treaty now being in place, you could actually have and harness another 3 to 4 billion acre feet annually and add 3 gigawatts of evening peak power in next 5 years. And Jammu Kashmir should be, and rightfully, along with Ladakh, be the major beneficiary. To end, people say, what are you doing? You're weaponizing, this is not ethical, and so on and so forth. We are not weaponizing water. India is asserting its sovereign rights over its national asset, and it is just stopping decades of one-sided charity and use the national assets, the river waters for our own irrigation, our own hydroelectric generation and flood control, benefiting most importantly Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, and Punjab. Thank you.
Thanks, KBS, for that explaining the Indus Waters Treaty for the common man, that great clarity.